electric cars, hybrid cars. This is about the best investment you can think of at a time when fuel prices are high. However, not much is said about the need for maintenance of CNG hybrid electric cars. You have to do some deep dive, go through the user manual, workshop manual, understand the safety issues. How do you keep yourself safe? And you know what you're doing. Then we get back to the job, we pull out the parts, and at the end of it, we know what we're looking for. Even at that, we are not done yet until we are able to fully figure out what the issue is. And this is the price 20 amps, but the voltage is still, around where it is. So let's measure. So now we have 126 amps, which is just enough to boost it in roughly some 5 to 10 minutes. So let's see. And this is the regular one I usually see. So aside this, is there any other charger that comes with it?
Yeah, this is the charger. This one, you install this one in your house. Here you have for office. Yes, it comes with a dashboard inside. That control this. So we install this for you. Practical. Very well.
This time,
The bottom was
there are some peculiarities I'm seeing there that
okay.
okay,
Like
maybe I used to have this one. I used to see this one first.
that is the wireless charging port. Wireless.
Okay.
So this is park, this is button gear, park, reverse.
Okay.
So the battery covers this and so this is the motor that control the control.
This is actually the inverter. So this is the it's the transmission actually, but of course in this case it's called motor. Yes. So this is the inverter. The inverter transfers drive to the motor, which connects the wheels. Those are the shafts.
Yep.
So
The battery is the flat battery is in the car. This one is
Okay.
lightness.
I can see the battery from here. So what's the capacity of that battery now?
The battery.
Let me do a recap. It's the Volkswagen. Touareg. Volkswagen, the manufacturer. Touareg, the make. So you can see here. You can see here hybrid. So that's the type. A V6 means it's a V-shaped engine. 6 cylinders. V-shaped now would mean that we have 3 cylinders to the right, 3 cylinders to the left. TSI is indicative of the type of engine. For Volkswagen, you can have TSI, FSI, and so on, and you will still have some specifics under them. Anytime you see orange lines like this, so they are used for carrying high voltage current. Okay, so because it's an hybrid, it will need an high voltage. So this box here now, we call it the inverter. Inverter means inverter. Anything you know of inverter in your what's it called, the solar powered system, you have an inverter to convert from voltage DC to alternating current. So it has a multiplier way inside this inverter. You have a converter. So what the converter will do is, the orange lines are DC. This can go as high as 300 volts. The converter inside this would convert the 200 and something plus voltage to 12 voltage for auxiliary use in the vehicle, and main use, of course. All the other systems that need power, the fans, the coils, every other thing. So the converter will do that. Else, in a regular motor vehicle, your alternator is what does the generation of power to start with, not even conversion. It generates the DC voltage, and it's usually belt driven. But for hybrid vehicles, not all of them will carry an alternator. This one does not carry an alternator from what I see. So you can open this to see more clearly. It doesn't carry an alternator. So it means it would need an external means of generating that power. Now, another common thing we can talk about for an hybrid vehicle is that depending on the design, the compressor for your AC, right? The compressor for your AC would either be belt driven or driven by the high voltage system. So for Toyota Camry, it is not belt driven. It receives its power directly from the high voltage system. So we've talked about just one part now, or just maybe a few components of the hybrid system. And when we say a vehicle is hybrid, I think we need to recap on that. When we say a vehicle is an hybrid means more than one. So in essence, it is using more than one source of power to generate what will propel the energy required, to generate the energy required to propel the vehicle. So in this case, it is using petrol to power the engine and electricity, right? Electric power to drive an electric motor. So I don't want to go too deep. Let's just leave it at that. So later on we can further explain how this is done, but I think this should just suffice. So come. Okay, so what's going on here is we are narrowing down the problem to the hybrid control ECU. So this is the former ECU. We have a new ECU here. Come closer. So this is the new ECU. So upon inspection, we are saying that the two ECUs are damaged. So this is what happens when people just try to throw in parts into their vehicle. So from all indications, what I'm seeing as the root cause of this problem is water ingress. So see all of this, you see, so it's what indicative of water ingress in the system. So you see the rust pattern in this. So perhaps it's been involved in flood at some point in time or the other. So anyway, it's still a dangerous process, and we still have a lot of troubleshooting to do. See you on the other side. John is the name, right? Johnson. Do you understand the importance of this interaction, even though you are an admin staff? Just give me one. Why do you think this interaction is important to you?
It's at least we have knowledge about the whole idea is when we're working, we shouldn't get outside the customer is asking something and we're saying we don't know. As we're working in the workshop, so at least with all this, we're able to have the idea and knowledge about what is going on.
So, if there's a third thing that I always run from, it is diesel. Of course, apart from Corolla, my beef with Corolla is more personal, so let's just put that on aside. You know, whether it is Mini Cooper, whether it is diesel, one unique thing about them is they challenge you. And the way to face a challenge is to prepare for it. If you don't read up,
about things like this diesel. Hmm? If you don't watch videos where necessary about diesel engines, you just be having problems. If you want to fix a diesel like a petrol, the very first, okay, it's not the very first, but we've had a situation when I was still in Lagos that they towed a diesel Range Rover down to our workshop in Lagos, and we're having some very funny technical arguments, very funny technical arguments about how the diesel is supplied. So we're like, okay, the kind of technology, is it the type that is just the diesel pump, or it is each of the injectors that is working as an injector works in the petrol engine? So please, always prepare, take each job as a project, not just it came for. Once you see that this motor, we never do this kind thing, just know that may e dey there, prepare for it, you understand, so that you don't get hooked before you now decide, let me go and, you understand. Yes, so let's go back to class and we have our round up.